FC24 is the world's #1 football game, but I'm going to be seeing how accurate it really is by going up against it to predict the results of Sky Bet League 2 fixtures for the rest of the season. Find out who will win at the end of the year. So, kicking things off with Crawley versus Forest Green Rovers. Now, this can be a very tight game in my opinion. Forest Green haven't looked good this season and obviously are in danger of getting relegated. Crawley, not really as much, but also have sort of come back down to where they should be in the last few weeks. I think it's going to be a very tight game, like I said. I'm going with a 1-1 draw here, but if I was to pick a winner, it would be the home side. FC24 predicts the away team to come out and win this game. They clearly haven't been looking at the form guide. I think they might get this one wrong. Next up is Wrexham versus Notts County. Now, Wrexham versus Notts County was a massive title race last season in the National League, the best we've ever seen in my opinion. And also, this year they've both been very good. Again, obviously Wrexham in the automatic promotion spots and Notts County not far off the playoffs. I think it's going to be a very close game. Again, I can see Wrexham just coming out on top. Obviously, after a few losses, that win at the weekend was massive for their confidence. I think they're going to back that up with another win here, back home again. But yeah, it could go either way, but I'm going to go with the Wrexham 2-1 win. FC24 agrees with the score margin, but doesn't think Notts County are going to get a goal here. And I have to say it was a pretty boring one to watch, but Paul Mullen's goal in the 68th minute won it for Wrexham. Now, despite Mansfield massacring on Tuesday night, I think they are actually going to drop off a little bit against Walsall, and I can see Walsall sneaking a point. Now, in this league, it's so open, anyone can beat anyone. I think Walsall, at home, in front of their fans, they can do something against a high-flying Mansfield. So I think they're going to get a point on a 1-1 draw here, and I think Mansfield will be very disappointed with that result. FC24 has also gone with the draw here, but a few more goals. And at one point, it looked like Walsall were going to get all 3 points this one. Mansfield getting a late goal there levelled things up. On to Tranmere versus Stockport now, where Stockport will be wounded after that loss against Crewe. You know, it's a huge game in terms of automatic promotion, and to lose it in the fashion they did will be hurting. And I think they will. They'll bounce back. You know, they need to. They're going to respond. Top sides do. I think they're going to win comfortably and really set out a statement to the league in this one. I'm going to go with a 4-1 win to Stockport. FC24 agrees with the margin of scoreline, but does not think that Tranmere will get any goals in this one. They didn't think they were going to get any shots on target. Stockport were deserved winners here. On to Swindon versus MK Dons now. Swindon, they're alright. They're a decent side. MK Dons are also a bit hit and miss. So I'm going to go with the home advantage here. And it'll be a narrow win because, like I say, both sides are a bit hit and miss at the minute. Obviously, MK Dons loss to Bradford will hurt. But I'm going to go with a Swindon 2-1 win here. FC24, on the other hand, is going to go with a 3-2 win for the away side. An action-packed second half that saw both sides take the lead at some point, but MK Dons came out with all 3 points. On to Salford versus Barrow now, where Salford have picked up their form recently after a really concerning start to this season. You know, at the start of the season, they would have been one of my promotion tips. But in terms of this game, Barrow are the ones that are more likely to get promoted this season. Obviously, haven't been quite at it over the last few weeks, and they'll need a performance against Salford if they are to win. I think it's going to be a very narrow game, but Barrow will come out on top, I think, just about in a very scrappy affair. I'm going to go the 1-0 win to the away side. FC24 clearly not updated on how this league has gone, as they've picked the home side to be convincing winners in this one, with Barrow not really getting much of a look in. Newport County versus Gillingham now. I think the home side have been very good this season. Obviously took Man United all the way a couple of weeks ago, so they've clearly got a little bit about them. Obviously backing it up with some good results. And Gillingham, they're alright, they're a decent side. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to the home side though. Newport County just going to have too much for Gillingham. Now, Newport County versus Gillingham was a very interesting game where the two sides couldn't be separated despite 4 goals going in that second half, but the spoils were shared. Now on to Crewe Alexandra versus Harrogate. I think Crewe are being a very impressive side. Obviously got a huge win against Stockport last time out, and they need to back it up if they are going to keep themselves in that fight for automatics and maybe even push on to win the title. It's so hit and miss in League 2 as it is every year, and it's one of my favourite leagues for that reason. And I think they are going to back it up with an impressive 2-0 win against Harrogate, and it will very much be a standard performance for them. FC24, on the other hand, predicted Harrogate to win this one. Very surprising, but Harrogate did deserve it. After dominating for much of the game, they finally found their breakthrough late in the game. Now, on to Colchester versus Accrington Stanley. I back the Cowleys. I think they're very good. They were unfortunate at Portsmouth. They had a really good start, but a couple of injuries and just it went wrong there for whatever reason. But I think they're going to do well at Colchester. They're going to bring them back to where they used to be a couple of years ago, fighting for playoffs. Not this season, but maybe next time out. I think they are going to keep them in the mid-table situation, not let them drift back down towards the relegation scrap. And I think they are going to win this game against Accrington Stanley at home. I think they're going to win narrowly, going to win 2-1. Morecambe versus Accrington Stanley on EAFC was a very straightforward affair. Colchester got 2 early goals and sat on that lead for the rest of the game. Accrington never really threatened. Bradford versus Sutton now. Obviously, Bradford coming off a very impressive 4-0 win over MK Dons. Sutton have looked poor this season. The home side, like I say, they haven't had a very impressive season, but when they're playing well, they obviously are playing well. I don't think they're going to play as well. Obviously, it's very hard to back up a 4-0 win with another 4-0 win. But I think they are going to beat Sutton United narrowly, though, because every game in this league is so hard to predict. I'm going to go the 1-0 win to the home side, though. It is slightly better viewing on EAFC 24 if you are a Sutton United fan, as despite being dominated for much of the game, Bradford couldn't quite find a winner, and Sutton will settle for a draw. On to AFC Wimbledon versus Morecambe now. AFC Wimbledon, very impressive last time out. Obviously, Ronan Curtis did get his goal, and I think that they are going to do that again, follow that up. I think they're going to win very comfortably against Morecambe. I'm going to go a 3-0 win to the Dons that could see them push into the playoffs. FC24 here predicts a 0-0 draw, a very boring game. If anything, Morecambe looked like the side that were going to break the deadlock at one point, but neither side could find a winner and they'll settle for a draw. Now on to our final game, Grimsby versus Doncaster. I can see this one being a bit of a bore draw. Neither side in any good run of form. Neither side really getting many goals. I can see it petering out and being a 0-0. Now, it is a similar story on EAFC 24, but Doncaster Rovers managed to find a winner late in the game and nick all 3 points. They'll definitely take this in real life. Now, as you can see, these are my final predictions. A very mixed bag of results. FC24 was a little bit similar, but also had some differences, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. But I thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.